Godzilla is supposed to represent the threat of atomic weaponry from the USA, and Rodan, the titanic flying pterodon kaiju, or Titan, is the Soviet Union equivalent. The original Japanese name for Rodan was Radon, which was a play on the word radiation mixed with pterodon. Once Toho gave the rights to America, the name was casually changed to Rodan, and has been that way ever since. Quick fact, a lot of Godzilla fans may not even know that Rodan had his very own movie way back in the year 1956. Simply called Rodan, the film covered the destructive path of a mating couple of Rodans, until their demise at the end of the film. While the monster was never able to get his own standalone movie again, he did become a staple monster for the entire Godzilla franchise moving forward. Rodan has appeared in 8 Godzilla films, with 4 smaller guest appearances, and the upcoming, highly anticipated Godzilla King of the Monsters is set to have Rodan take a massive part in the story. He also showed up at the end of Kong Skull Island, but that was just a cave drawing, so we won't dwell on that. Rodan is one of a select few Toho monsters that have managed to show up in every Godzilla series. The only other monsters to do so are Godzilla, King Ghidorah, Mothra, Mechagodzilla, and the son of Godzilla, or Godzilla Jr. There has been 2 common origin stories for Rodan over the decades. One being that Rodan is an ancient pterosaur that survived underground and grew to epic proportions due to the excessive amount of radiation that surrounded the beast there. The other being that Rodan was a result of the Soviet Union's nuclear testing on isolated islands, much like with Godzilla and My Americans. Rodan's appearance has mostly stayed unchanged since the very beginning, keeping the physical traits of pterosaurs, but he is still a monster. His beak and talons are capable of crushing boulders and advanced aircraft with ease. The classic design always has the monster keeping a brown or burgundy coloration with spikes and horns normally protruding from his chest and the top of his head. King of the Monsters will be giving the flying kaiju his most radical design change yet, where his body is made out of magma-like qualities, literally making Rodan a flying volcano of sorts. Every Rodan in the past has been surprisingly durable for one of the smaller and more frail kaiju, as he has been seen shrugging off attacks from both Godzilla and King Ghidorah, 2 of the most powerful monsters ever created. MonsterVerse Rodan will probably continue this trait, as it is said that his skin is practically like plate armor from all the hardened magma. You would think this armor of sorts would weigh the monster down, but this does not appear to be the case, as he is very agile in his flight and can even reach supersonic speeds. Those wings are insanely powerful, allowing Rodan to lift up Godzilla, a kaiju multiple times heavier than Rodan himself. Rodan could use them as worthy weapons as well, as the wings are able to clap, creating deadly sonic booms of energy. Simply flying with these wings is efficient enough to destroy entire towns, which the King of the Monsters trailer made very clear. When the wings weren't enough, Rodan would use his most powerful weapon, his radioactive heat ray, a play of sorts on Godzilla's atomic blast. Rodan, like Godzilla, grows larger with every new movie it seems. The MonsterVerse version will be the largest to ever be seen of Rodan, coming in at 154 feet tall and having a wingspan of 871 feet, nearly 3 football fields wide, or as large as a cruise ship. A typical question fans have is Rodan a good guy or what? The answer to this is not quite so simple, but we're gonna make it simple anyway.
Oh, hello.
Yep. Rodan is pretty much like Deadpool, an anti-hero of sorts. He normally acts with selfish intent, focusing on whatever suits him best. He hates humans, but only because they hated him first. This has led to him not really caring if people are killed in his wake. It's not like he normally wants to kill us, but he certainly doesn't give a damn if he does, if you know what I mean. However, he isn't always a total chode. In more cases than not, Rodan comes to help Godzilla fight off larger threats, and even once sacrificed himself in order to allow Godzilla to live on with his son, Godzilla Jr. Rodan hates hard, but he loves harder. When Toho was creating Rodan, they were very clear on wanting the monster to be considerably smaller than Godzilla, giving more variety in their monsters. They looked at what we know about pterosaurs at the time and used what they found to bring Rodan to life. At first, Rodan was designed to look more villainous and serious, as his role in the Rodan film warranted this more savage look. As Godzilla films got more cheesy, so did Rodan's design. Becoming a sort of comic relief for the series, Rodan somewhat became a literal joke. Monsters were like, hey, look at this bitch. Some more recent entries of the monster have been much more monstrous and epic. The Rodan suit was made similarly to Godzilla's, although clearly much smaller. Suitmation, along with wire-operated puppets, were used to bring Rodan to life. Haruo Nakajima, the same actor who played Godzilla, also played Rodan, and he nearly died when the cables that held him and his 150-pound Rodan suit snapped over one of Toho's water tanks. Luckily, everything went well after that. To create the shriek of Rodan, Ichiro Minawa used the same technique that was used for Godzilla, called the Contrabass Technique, when you'd use a guitar or other stringed instruments to create a long, grindy sort of sound. This was then layered with sped up human voices and BAM! Rodan's scream was created. Rodan is one of the most famous movie monsters of all time, a big reason why he has his own role in the upcoming King of the Monsters. With this review of Rodan's history, you can really see that just with the short clips that we got in the trailer of Rodan, that those lovely people at Legendary have blended the classic appeal of the Toho films with a new, relevant, and most importantly, badass take on the iconic flying monster. For more History Of videos, specifically on the one starring in Godzilla King of the Monsters, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date. Also, we have a Patreon, so feel free to donate if you want more and are able to. Thanks guys. On that note, this has been Jacob Residence. Peace out.